welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing a layout for One Sketch Three Ways, and this month, February 2026, I designed the sketch. So I'm going to be using Simple Stories Say Cheese Classic Mouse Collection and a photograph of when we first stepped on the ship. It must have been about 10 minutes after we got onto the ship. I've already cut my papers down to size. In this collection, I had done some die cutting of that large tag I'll show you in a minute, which is an L Studio tag. And so I've used one of them in place of one of the paper patterns, pattern papers. So I'm going to start off by just adding some ink through the stencil. So it's a stencil from my stash. I'm not 100% certain where I got it from. And I'm just going to use it like 2/3 on the background paper. And as you can see, I'm just lining up the Mickey heads so that I can get a continuous design towards the right hand side, but when you come to see when I'm doing the layout, most of this gets covered up, but there's still a pop of that red behind it. So I'm going to use this yellow piece of paper and I'm just going to cut that down. I think I cut it down to 9 inches tall. Then there's that big large tag that I'd already die cut, and I wanted to just use 3 pieces of pattern paper, but you'll see in a minute where I go slightly wrong. So I wanted to use this paper from the 6x8 pad that's got the anchors on as the third sheet of paper as per the sketch. But I ended up cutting it too short and just leaving a slight border around. So I do end up using another piece of pattern paper underneath just to tie it all together. So you can see the sketch in the top left hand corner. I've kept the sketch very basic really, so you can interpret it as you want, add as many layers as you wish. On the sketch you will see the full sketch in the on the Facebook group. I have put some stitch lines down, so I will be doing some stitching, and again, as is my war, it all gets covered over. So here I am just adding that extra piece of pattern paper now behind my photograph. Don't forget to hop over to Helen and Sarah's channels to see how they have what they have created with this sketch. And we've all done something different and obviously used different collections as well. And also join us over on our Facebook group as well. I'll leave a link to Helen and Sarah's YouTube channels and also a link to our Facebook group where you just join in. It's a great way of joining in with a sketch. You don't have to really think about much, and also use up some of your stash as well. So back onto my layout, I've just distressed all the edges, just slightly distressed all the edges of these pattern papers. I didn't distress the edge of the tag, but the other papers I did, and I'm just going to stick it down. As you can see, I've just pointed out there is a stitched pattern on that sketch, and I wanted to use this herringbone template. It's one of the new templates from stitching templates from A Little Magpie. I did think about putting it on the left hand side, on the right hand side, so you can see it more, but I ended up just sticking to the original sketch. So I'm just going to stick this yellow piece of pattern paper down, trying to make sure it's straight, which I think I do. As is my wall, lots of my layouts are always, I think they're straight, and then when I come to photograph them, they're not straight, but there you go, I do try my best. And they're not going in for any competitions anyway, so I don't have to, they're not going to be marked or judged, only judged by me. So I'm just going to use my pokey tool and just prick out, and because I've got the pattern paper over it, I'm not going to do the full length of the stitch template. I'm just going to do a couple of the points at the top and a couple at the bottom as well. And I do use red thread, again, just to give a bit of pop of the colour and tie all the colours in together, with me having the red stencil detail at the back. And I also use some red wax twine in my large tag, which I'll show you now. So I'm just going to show you a few of the stitches. I don't show you the whole thing, but what I would advise you to do is to follow the template. Sarah's really done them really nicely. So she's done the holes what you do, but she's also etched where the stitching should be. So if you do get a bit, this one I found it a bit difficult, so if you do get a bit lost, it's easy enough just to follow the pattern on the etched stitched, and you will see where your stitches are meant to appear and not appear. So there it is where I've finished. I've just done the top and a bit on the bottom, and I'm just showing you there the etched templates as well. I do keep it out thinking I'm going to add the template, the stitching again to the right hand side, but I don't do that. So I'm just going to add my tag. Now when I add tags to my layouts, I also add some foam pads around the hole at the top. It just makes the tag gives it a bit more dimension, so that I can get my ribbon in, or my in this one I've put some wax twine in easier, and it just lets it stick out a bit more. And then I'm going to put this pattern paper on top, and then my photograph, and that's basically my layout done. And as I said, I kept the sketch very basic. I have put some 3D foam pads on the back of my photograph, again just to add some extra dimension. And I also add a sticker, or a die cut it is, not a sticker, to the top left of my photograph, of my layout, because I just felt that area was a bit blank. And I just wanted something to have in that area to draw your eye back down to the main photograph. So here I'm just adding my 3 little cluster spots. So I've just punched a 1.5 inch square, I think, circle punch from some pattern paper. I was going to put this ampersand, but it was the same pattern as that black paper, so it didn't stand out. And this is where I put that little die cut at the top. And I end up trying to figure out what I'm going to put round my layout. A lot of the things don't appear at the end results. So I've got the three little cluster points I'm going to put around my photograph as per the sketch. And then I am going to add I want to use this big word called ahoy. So I'm just going to put that at the bottom right of the photograph, sort of overlapping the lower edge of the photograph as well. And then I'm going to go through my 12 by 12 sticker sheet and add some of the stickers from there. I do use some of the word phrases. I mean, first of all, I use some of these lovely circle elements that's on the sticker sheets. I've just used 3 in the 3 spots, or 1 in each spot, should I say. And then I've got the word strips. Now, I am all for one. Some of these word strips are quite long, so I'm all for one for cutting things down. So the bottom one underneath the hoy says happy sailing, and I've cut it down. So happy sailing this way, and it did have a little arrow on, but I've cut all that down. And the top one on the top right says the happiest memories. Again, it was a long strip, but I've just cut it into 2. And then on the die cut on the top left, I've just used a normal sticker that says say cheese. Just before I did all that, if you can see, I've just added a what are they called? A patch. I have some fabric patches of Mickey and Minnie's and Donald's and things like that. So I just want to try and use them up instead of just ordering them and thinking, oh, these are nice. So I've just added one as the statue that James is standing next to on the Disney Fantasy is Minnie Mouse. I just added a fabric patch using Nouveau Deluxe glue to my layout. So here I am. I'm just cutting these word strips apart. I didn't want to use the arrow, so I've just put that back onto the sheet, and I can use that at another time. So I'm just doing all that. So like I said, don't forget to go and check out Helen and Sarah's YouTube, and also we're over on Instagram as well. So I'll put my Instagram and our Instagram details, everything in the description box. On my Instagram, I will share more close-ups of these of this layout anyway, so you get a better detail of what you can see, a bit more close up. So I'm just looking to see what other stickers I can find. So this one where it says the happiest memories, I've just cut that in two and that goes on the top. And I think my next thing is to add some brads. So with brads, I always think, oh, I can't add many. And then I think I'm just ordering them. I keep on finding my collections and they've got quite a lot of brads left over. So before I add the brads, I'm just going to add some wax twine to the top of my tag and make it trail down the right hand side. Again, adding some Nouveau Deluxe glue just to keep it in place. But it does look free flowing going down the page. But like I said, going back to using the brads, I always think, oh, I can only use 1 or 2 on the layout, but on this one I've actually used 9 because I keep on finding packs of my collections with brads in, if I've bought the brads for that collection, and there's only been 1 or 2 used, and I need to start using up my stash. So I need to get them onto layouts and not think that they're so precious they can't be used. So here I'm just trying to figure out if I'm going to use more than 1 brad. And I do. As like I said, I end up using 9 in a cluster of 3 on the cluster points on this layout. Can't think what else I do after this. I'm loving using sketches. I hope you are too. And I think this is where I finish. So yeah, so here I'm going to show you some more close-ups and where I've done my cluster to the top left. So that's the sketch, and I'm just going to go through and show you some close-ups. There's the wax twine and the tag and the word strips. I've done my bit of journaling as on the sketch as well, and I've also added that little die cut piece at the top. So thank you very much for stopping by. Please like, and if you've not already subscribed to my channel, here are a few close-ups. Please go over to Helen and Sarah's layout YouTube to check out their layouts and see how they have created with this sketch. Thanks very much for stopping by. Till next time. Bye.